Okay, so I'm going to start. The Camel's Hump by Rudyard Kipling. Okay, this is a critical analysis based on the poem. So Rudyard Kipling, so this is a picture of Rudyard Kipling. He's a very famous journalist also. He's very popular for writing children's stories. Okay, right. So uh, before going to the poem, I thought of like going to the story, how the camel got his hump, the summary of the lesson. Okay, so at the beginning of the world, various animals started to work under the subjugation of man. There was a camel who was fed on sticks, thorns, prickles, who was living in the middle of the howling desert. He was not interested in doing any work. Even if he was asked, his only reply was hump. Can you understand? On Monday, a horse approached with the saddle on his back and asked him to trot like the rest of them. Okay, the camel gave him a cold reply and said hump. The horse went away and informed the man. Then came a dog with a stick in his mouth and asked him to come along to do some work. So what happened? The camel said hump and returned to cold shoulder to him. Then the dog left to tell it to the man. Then after came an ox with a yoke on his neck and asked to plow like him. So horse, dog, and the cow, all of them were working for the man. Okay, the camel replied, was this reply? Hump. The ox reported the man about this. At the end of the day, they complained to the man, but the man asked them to work double time and make up. So what happened? Because camel refused to work for man, so what did the man do? Man doubled the work for other animals. So that is what happened. Okay. Then what happened? This annoyed the three and they had a panchat on the edge of the desert. The camel listened to it but ignored them and left. Then appeared the jinn who were in charge of all the deserts. Who is a jinn? I think I put a picture of a genie also. You can see it. So genie is like maybe in the movie Aladdin you might have seen a genie. So who comes out of the lamp of Aladdin. So with the spiral ending at the end, the blue color giant. So that is the genie. So genie was in charge of all the desert. He put forward their complaints before the genie and then he decided to teach him a lesson. So the Jinn wrapped himself in his dust cloak and went into the desert to find the camel. The Jinn approached the camel, who was looking at his reflection in the mirror. He asked the reasons of his reluctance to work. It was expected to come from the camel to do 3 work since Monday. So it has not gone for work, like for 3 days. Jinn waited for his reply, so in return said, Hump. Jane wanted him by saying that he wouldn't say hump again and again. He just wanted him to work. His adamant attitude annoyed the Jane. When the camel was seeing his reflection in water, his back suddenly grew up a lump. Okay, lump means molly, right? So Jean explained him to the camel had been in state of denial when he was asked to work since Monday. So, on Thursday, he got the punishment of his wrongdoings. The camel was shocked to see that and asked him, how can I with this hump on my back? Okay, so like, how can I work? How can I stay? The gene said that he could complete his work without taking any food or water. Jean also added that he favored the camel and now he should join the three. So he warned him to behave properly. However, he still didn't catch up the initial 3 days and he missed at the beginning of the word. His hump at present is penalty of his past mistake. Can you understand how he got the hump? It was a punishment. Now he was unable to catch up the work that he has missed. So therefore, as a punishment, he was given the hump, but he couldn't meet the like work that he has missed. Okay, so that is it. So you can see a small cartoon also here, right? So are you clear with the story of how camel got the hump? Now this is more like a folklore. Okay, so how camel got its hump. Now based on this story, Rudyard Kipling has written the poem. Any questions about the story? Please speak up. Anything to clarify? Dinali, any questions? If there's anything to say, right, so please speak up so then it's easy. So then we can move on to the poem. Right. Let's go to the poem then. Okay. Someone read the first stanza. Let's see who is here. Who is Netmi? I forgot. Netmi, can you read the first stanza?
Okay, the camel's hump is an ugly lump, which well you may see at the zoo, but uglier yet is the hump we get from having too little to do.
Punsara, second stanza, please.
Kiddies and grown-ups too, if we haven't enough to do, we get the hump, Camellia's hump, the hump that is black and blue.
Okay, right. So the camel's hump is an ugly lump. Lump hump has the same meaning what you see on the back of the camel, which well you may see at the zoo. Now when you see the camel at the zoo, it's very lazy, it's not even working, so it's inside a cage. But uglier yet is the hump we get from having too little to do. So what happened, the poet is telling that, because if we don't do anything, like if we stay lazily, we will also get a hump, having too little to do. Can you understand? Right? So the hump that we get will be more uglier than the hump that the camels get. Okay? Kiddies and grown-ups too, if we haven't enough to do, we get the hump, camellia's hump, the hump that is black and blue. Now the poet has given a specific color to this hump as well. Okay, right? So what is the color? Black and blue. So black and blue, imagine that having a hump that is black and blue on our back, it is very ugly. Now, if you look at the language, you might find it bit odd, but this is more like a song, like has a singability likewise. So in order to meet up the rhyme and to like have this childish effect on this, like because it's more like a children's rhyme now. So how the kids sing it, kiddies and grown-ups too, if we haven't enough to do. Can you remember when you were like reading stanzas and all when you were in primary grades? So we get the hump, the camellia's hump, the hump that is black and blue. Can you understand? So to have this singability, the rhyming effect, the poet has used this to do likewise words. Okay, so kids, grown-ups, everybody might get the camel's hump. So camellia's hump is a sort of a inversion from the camel's hump. So the camel hump that is black and blue. Are you clear with that? So the poet is trying to say that we will all get the hump if we have not much work to do. Maybe you might have seen in the back of the fat people there is this hump. I also getting a hump now these days due to lockdown, right? Because like we all are staying inside, having nothing to do, sitting by the chair and doing the work and all. So like behind the neck, you get like some sort of like a muscle like this, and it's very like difficult to remove. Okay, so touch behind your neck and check whether you are getting the hump as well. Now, sorry. Someone else read this one. Let's see who is there. Sayumi, can you read Puta? Sayumi or Senuji? One of you. Senuji, can you read the next stanza? Senuji, you there?
We climb up with the frosty head and a sneered yardy voice. We shiver and scout, and we grunt and we growl at our bath or our boots and our toys.
Okay, good. Um, Sayumi, next stanza, please, Puta.
And there ought to be a corner for me, and I know there is one for you. When we get the hump, camellia's hump, the hump that is black and blue.
Right, okay. We climb out of bed with a frowsly head and a snarly, yarly voice. We shiver and we scowl and we grunt and we growl at our bath, at our boots, at our toys. So we climb out of bed with a frowsly head. Frowsly head means I have given the meaning also, like in the screen you can see frowsly means messy appearance. So messy head. I think in the picture also you can see, like once we get down from the bed, of course our head is messy, our clothes are messy, even our appearance is messy, right? So and once we get up, how's our voice? A snarly yarly voice. Now if you also got up right now, your voices might be like this. Snarly yarly means yarly, of course, like that word yarly has no like direct meaning. Snarly yarly, of course, for rhyming purpose, angry or bad tempered. You know, like how you get up, like people say good morning, so some say good morning, right? Likewise, okay, so you are like very grumpy in your tone. So we shiver and we scowl and we grunt and we growl. So shiver, we are shivering. Now these are cold days, of course, so we are shivering early in the morning. Okay, mornings are very cold. So scowl is again an angry or bad tempered expression, or basically frowning. Okay, then what are we doing? We grunt. Grunt means a low, short, guttural sound made by an animal or a person. Basically, pigs make those sounds. Grunt means an unpleasant sound which comes behind the back of the throat. Sound likewise, you say you speak with a guttural sound, like in the back of the throat you are speaking, right? And we growl. Growl has the same meaning, unpleasant sound made from the throat. Okay, so and sometimes like the unpleasant sounds which come from the belly also, like you can see as growling. Okay, so what are we doing at our bath and our boots and our toys? So we are doing all these things like shivering, scowling, grunting, and growling when we are bathing, and also we are looking frowning at our boots, at our toys. Now kids of course frowning at their toys as well. Clear? Right. And there ought to be a corner for me, and I know there is one for you. When we get the hump, camellia's hump, the hump that is black and blue. So, who is going to get a corner? There ought to be a corner for me, and I know within brackets there's a corner for you. Okay, when we get the hump, the camellia's hump, the hump that is black and blue. Now what happen if we get the hump? Can we face the society? No, we get unattractive. I have like shown, like now this is of course maybe a physical disability that people has got the hump and not, but I have just put the picture to show how this hump look like, right? Okay, so if we don't do enough work, we all get the hump, and we will be cornered, we will be ostracized from the society. So we will have to stay in a corner, like being unable to go and move on with the people. Are you clear with the word meanings and all? Are you clear? Can you please speak up?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's move on to the other stanza. The cure for this ill is not to sit still or frowst with a book by the fire, but to take a large hoe and a shovel also, and dig till you gently perspire. So, what is the cure for this illness? The cure for this ill is not to sit still. Can you see rhyming words? They are ill and still. Okay, right. So, cure for this ill is not to sit still or frowst with a book by the fire. Frowst means a warm, stuffy atmosphere in a room, you know, like now, of course, we don't have furnaces in our country, but you know, other countries they have these furnaces. They read by the fire on rainy days or cold days. So, or frowst with a book by the fire. So, that is not the thing. Now, what do your parents say? How do your parents call you lazy? If you are not studying, they call you lazy, no? Right? Okay, if you are like even if you play and do not study, your parents say you are lazy, but you need to balance the work. That's true. But now what is the poet suggesting? But take a large hoe and a shovel also. Hoe means here a long standard gardening tool with a thin metal blade used mainly for weeding. Okay, so It's again an instrument used in gardening. So take a hoe and a shovel and dig till you gently perspire. So I have a picture also. What you have to do is you have to dig till you gently perspire. Perspire means give out sweat through the pores of the skin as a result of heat, physical exertion or stress. So now a perspire means that you have to work hard and once you work hard you will sweat. That is the only cure, right? And then you will find that the sun and the wind and the gene of the garden too have lifted the hump, the horrible hump, the hump that is black and blue. Okay, so what happened? Once you do the physical work, what happened? The gene of the garden, the sun, and the wind, that means, the natural elements, they will have lifted your hump. Okay, the horrible hump, the hump that is black and blue, right? I get it as well as you if I haven't enough to do. We all get the hump, the camellias hump, kiddies and grown ups too. So the poet is again using the same lines he's repeating. Okay, so you can see exclamation marks. So they are you, too, likewise, hump, lump, those are rhyming. Okay, so kiddies and grown ups too. Can you understand the poem? I have put a picture of the genie also. So, any questions about the poem before we move on? Anything to clarify? Are you clear? Clear with the poem? Okay, so then move on. We discussed this part. The themes are the moral message of the poem. Now, not to be lazy and work hard, importance of physical exercise, and people will be unattractive due to lack of physical activities. So, that is what the poet is suggesting throughout the poem, right? So, that would be the end of Camel's Hump.